Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Kalaboukis, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. How do you like that new opening, huh? I've been using that since, oh my God, I don't remember when I used to have a podcast on a different service. That was always my opening. So I thought I'd go back to it and see what you guys thought. If you say, oh, that sucks, I don't want to hear it, then just let me know in the comments below. So today we're going to talk a little bit about building a new business, coming up with a brand new idea that you want to take the world by storm. You want to take the world by storm. Now, I think we have to go back to first principles. We have to go back to the very, very beginning. Because I think what's happening with the human race is that we are sort of collapsing in on ourselves. Some of it has to do with COVID, some of it has to do with lockdown, some of it has to do with disruption and changes, but many people are falling in on themselves. They're falling in on themselves. And if you're familiar with Maslow's, the pyramid of needs, then you'll realize, and let me just go through that really quickly, but you can look it up on Wikipedia, it's right there. At the very bottom you have physiological needs like food, water, warmth, and rest. Then you have safety, security, belonging and love, friendship, esteem, prestige, feelings of accomplishment, and at the very top you have self-actualization, or achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. Now, what's happening is if you want to target a very tiny niche, then you can move up the pyramid and look at those things in those tiny little areas. But there's less of a chance that you're going to be able to become or create a billion-dollar business. Because I mean, that's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants a unicorn. Everybody wants a billion-dollar business. So if you want to build a billion-dollar business, once you move up the pyramid into the self-actualization space or into the esteem needs space, then it's got to be a niche product for a small amount of individuals who have a lot of money. And that's where you design your service to be a luxury item or a high-end item, or charge a very, very high amount for the product or service or whatever you're doing. And there's plenty of services that are in that space. I mean, that's much harder to crack into if you're not already part of the market. I mean, I'll give you an example. For example, Masterclass, right? So let's say you want to create a platform, a teaching platform that other people will use. Because everybody knows that the money is not really in the actual usage of the tool. The money is in actually building the tool for others to use. It's like the whole gold rush thing, right? The miners themselves, it was a crapshoot whether or not they were going to become rich. But the people who sold the pickaxes, the people who sold the shovels, the people who built, who provided the tools to the miners, they always got rich. Always got rich. So building something that you can provide to another group of people so that they can go ahead and become the rich ones, that's really got legs. But I digress. So if you want to go into those niches, those are great, but they have to be high value niches. And those are very, very hard to build into unless you're already in that niche. And like I was mentioning, you've got Masterclass, you've got Teachable, you've got all these platforms for online learning. But the reason why Masterclass is the way it is and why it's making so much money is that they tap into the top of the line people who already had a huge audience. And you can't beat that. And I've said that before in previous shows, is that sometimes audience and traction comes before the actual product that you're creating. But if you don't have the accessibility into that little niche, then you have to move down the pyramid. And as you move down the pyramid, you know for sure that people are going to be more and more interested in it. A broader swath of individuals are going to be more and more interested in what you're doing. For example, when you go on Facebook and you post a picture, if it's a picture of food, or if it's a picture of a pet, then you're probably going to get a lot of likes, right? So food is something people all love. And if you look at the very, very bottom of Maslow's pyramid, the physiological needs, the very number one thing people want is food. So food is a no-brainer. So if you develop something that has something to do with food, then you're going to have an automatic set of individuals who'd be interested in trying it, because there's going to be open-minded people who are going to want to try it no matter what it is, and there's going to be closed-minded people who won't want to try it. But there's so much innovation. You've got a huge audience for people who are interested in food. So food is a great category to be in. And then if you look at most of the rest of them, physiological needs, warmth, rest, security, safety, intimate relationships, and friends, those have a lot to do with money. So if you want something that can pull in a big audience, you have to do something that has to do with money. So if you create a product, let's say you're financially savvy, you've made a reasonable amount of money, whether it's on the stock market, or it's real estate investing, or personal savings, or whatever. If you've done something in your personal life that you find is a good financial move, a set of good financial moves, then that's something you can definitely sell, because food and money, if you ask me, are the number 1 and 2 most popular, most sought after items on the internet, no matter what it is. So if it has something to do with food, let's say you're creating some kind of new types of food, or you're doing diets or low calorie or low carb or whatever, that stuff is going to be popular. And if you have something to do with money, finance, being able to manage your money, being able to grow your money, become a millionaire, these things are going to be popular no matter what you do. So if you move up the chain into those other areas where you're talking about esteem, you're talking about self-actualization, you're talking about innovation, you're talking about disruption, you're talking about, those things are less important to the huge mass of individual humanity. So if you really want to create a new product or service that maps to the largest number of people, and I'm talking quantity, not quality here. We can talk about that in another show. If you're talking about quantity, then you definitely want to look at the lower part of the pyramid, and you can't go wrong with food or money, or maybe even both.